guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, which means it's time for Magic News. Now, this is where I talk about all the news that's happening in the Magic community. So first of all, if you've got any news and you want to let me know about it, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your Magic news, and I will happily report on it. But without further ado, because it's going to be a long one today, this is today's Magic News. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Ben Hart. That's right, Ben Hart, one of the greatest magicians of modern times, that literally has done it all and then some, has just announced through his management company, Gag Reflex, that he is going to be touring through 2025 with his new show, Remarkable. Now, he's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe, for the whole of Edinburgh Fringe, but there are dates that have been announced from sort of August all the way through to the end of the year and into 2026. So you can find out all of those dates on Ben's website. But as I said, he is going to be at the Fringe like he is every single year. And it's an interesting description. Remarkable apparently is his biggest and best show to date. And reading this description, he talks about how he's been performing magic and tricks and illusions for a very, very long time. But in this show, it's going to feel real for the audience, which is kind of an interesting concept for a magic show. So if you want to go and see it, you can check it out at the Edinburgh Fringe. And if you're not anywhere near the Edinburgh Fringe, there are lots of dates. Go check it out on Ben's website. Now, talking about incredible British magicians that have taken the world by storm and that are touring, I think that we have to throw Jamie Allen into the mix as well. So Jamie Allen has been performing at the highest level for as long back as I can remember. And Jamie is taking his new show, Amaze, to the it's the Stratz Center in Florida. He's going to be in the Stratz Center in Florida from the 30th of May until the 30th of April to the 11th of May. Now, Jamie has, mastered the art of combining magic and illusions and technology and sort of tech magic into one incredible experience. And he is a person who goes above and beyond to make sure that he delivers the absolute best that he can do. And Amaze is amazing. It absolutely is. So if you're anywhere near the Florida area and you want to see an amazing show, you can go and do so by checking out the Stratz Center in Florida for the 30th of May to the 30th of April to the 11th of May. Okay, next up, there is a new production company. Now, this production company officially was formed at the Blackpool Magic Convention, had a dealer stand there, but they are set to take the world by storm. Tricked Magic, which is run by Alex Jessen. Now, if you don't know Alex Jessen is the owner and the head performer in Matrix Illusions. Now, the Matrix Illusion Act has literally toured the whole of the world with their incredible illusions. You might remember them from a couple of years ago, getting through to the live rounds of Britain's Got Talent. Since then, they have gone from strength to strength to strength. Well, Alex has actually set up his own production company as well. In Blackpool, he had a bunch of original ideas. He had a bunch of original routines, as well as carrying a bunch of stuff from Smoky Mountain Magic as well. In fact, if you saw the review show last Wednesday, you'll know that me and Ryland reviewed the colour-changing donuts, which we got from Alex's stand. Well, he's now officially open and ready for business. Now, it's not just a magic dealership, because he's also going to be producing incredible artwork. If you don't know, Alex is an incredible illustrator, an incredible artist, and has been creating show posters for some of the biggest acts in the world for the last few years. He creates concept art, he creates show posters, and he's got a whole bunch of unique art that he has made into sort of pictures and picture frames and coasters and mugs and so on and so forth. My man cave now has coasters everywhere of Rubik's Cubes because of Ryland visiting Alex's stand over Blackpool. Absolutely incredible stuff. You're also going to be seeing some very unique items coming your way as well. So one that he's launched with, which I actually saw him perform live last weekend. So I took Ryland and Thea and Sarah to watch Matrix's show at the Gatehouse in Stafford last week, and he did this incredible routine where he brought out a kind of a big pad, a little bit like you'd see with Bowlerama, and he drew a top hat in there. He closed the pad, and when he opened it up, a full-size top hat was in the place of the picture. It was a little bit like Bowlerama, but instead of a bowling ball, it was a top hat. The cool thing is, he then reached into the top hat, pulled out a massive magic wand, and then they made sweets appear and stuff from the top hat. Great routine for kids entertainers that want to do something that's going to play really big. Now, Alex then went into a different routine, but the whole thing was structured brilliantly. That is available on his site. Ryland bought a table from Alex at Blackpool, a light-up programmable LED table, and that is also right there on his site. We're going to be reviewing that at some point soon. Anyway, you want to go and check it out. It's Tricked Magic, and they are adding to their range all the time. Okay, the Magic Circle have announced the date of their next convention. I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th annual convention of the Magic Circle. Every single one is fantastic. It takes place at the Magic Circle headquarters. For a lot of people, it's the only time you're ever going to be able to go into the Magic Circle headquarters. You get to have a look around, you get to go to the club room, you get to go to the library, you get to go to the museum. You get guided tours that are happening regularly. There's a dealer room in the hotel nearby with some incredible dealers. On top of that, there's a bunch of other stuff going as well. So the dealer room, they don't call them dealers at the Magic Circle. They call them the Wonder Emporium or something. The Wonder Emporium is there, and it's got a whole bunch of people that are attending. But on top of that, they've already started announcing acts. They have announced 2 acts. The first act they've announced is the German magician, absolutely incredible Topaz, who will set the place on fire and then some. And then Mark Paul, who is probably the greatest mentalist in the UK today, as far as I'm concerned. Having seen Mark lecture many, many times, it's always incredible. So Mark and Topaz will be lecturing, as well as I believe they're going to be performing on the gala show as well. It's a whole one-day event. There's dealers, there's lectures, there's talks, and then there's a gala show in the evening as well. And it all takes place on the world-famous Magic Circle stage. So tickets are available at the moment, I think, just for Magic Circle members, and then will be announced for everyone else a little bit later on. But there you go. That is the Magic Circle convention taking place this year, 22nd of June. So I was sent something through the post from Thomas More Creative, who are, they create some of the best illusions the world has ever seen. Thomas More Creative are brilliant, and they have developed a series of demerit badges. It's a little bit like the merit badges that you would get in Cubs or Scouts, and they're in that same sort of style. They're embroidered, and you could stitch them onto your performing outfits if you want to. It's actually very funny. So I've got 5 of them. I don't know if there's more, but I just wanted to share them on the Magic News because they're very funny. So demerit badges recognize the key magician milestones, and you've got, can you make my wife disappear? And a little picture of a magic wand with a bride, which I thought was great. Saying no, the clean hand. These are all, when you do that for the first time, when you say no, the clean hand for the first time, you get to put this on your performing outfit with a little cross over one of the hands. Absolutely brilliant. Next time you say, no, I'm not a waiter, I'm the magician, you're going to get to be able to use that demerit badge. Stopping doing the vanishing bandana. When you get to a point where you stop doing the vanishing bandana, that one there is for you. And then finally saying, just stand on that trap door. That's your demerit badge there. These are fantastic. This is a really fun idea. I love this. So Thomas More don't just do demerit badges. They also do a bunch of other stuff as well. You might want to check out their website. But there it is. Demerit badges from We Add Wow, Thomas More Creative. Okay, I don't think that we can do the Magic News without talking about the Atomic Deck, which has been raging on now for a very, very, very long time. The Atomic Deck, which is something that I bought out at Blackpool and has since sold out worldwide. So every single copy has been sold out. I believe that there are no copies left at Murphy's Magic. They are currently in the process of reprinting it because demand is very high. But it's been one of the most polarizing tricks, definitely of this year. But probably of the last few years as well. It's been very polarizing. And here's the interesting thing, right? It's kind of crazy, but it's very tribal in that some people love it, and the people that love it defend it venomously. And it's very hated as well. And the people that hate it make no bones about it and will literally shout about it everywhere. It's kind of interesting because there's a Facebook group for the Atomic Deck. And I think there's like 600 people in there. And most of the people in the I think pretty much everybody in the Facebook group for the Atomic Deck are loving it. There's loads of people sharing performance videos, loads of people sharing different ways of actually performing it. You know, on Monday I put a video up about 6 ways to perform it using the crib, but having the crib open. Since that video went out, there's been a ton of people that have like created different versions of the crib. There's a fantastic one in there where the crib has been designed to look like a FedEx label, and the FedEx label, you just stick it on an envelope and literally the crib is living in plain sight. There's, you know, the level of people loving it in the Facebook group is just brilliant, far and beyond a lot of tricks that I've seen. But then on the flip side, there's people that like really hate it, and it's crazy that the same names that I see, I check out the various different excuse me, I check out the various different YouTube reviews, and every single YouTube review that you see, there's the same names posting. If somebody doesn't like it, they will post everywhere that they don't like it. You know, I see the same YouTube accounts posting on like 5, 6, 7 different videos. And it's crazy that people are constantly trying to change other people's minds, which is, you know, crazy. It's the only word I can describe. You know, like there's going to be people, you'll have the Magic Cafe thread, which is now to be 43 pages, is the perfect example. But look into any of the YouTube reviews and you'll see the same thing. There's people on there that will go, this is the best trick ever, this is amazing. And then you'll have somebody saying, are you on crack? This is the worst trick ever, it's terrible, and it's terrible for this reason and this reason and this reason. And somebody else will go, no, it's absolutely brilliant, it is brilliant for this reason and this reason. And then you'll have 3 more people say it's terrible, and then 2 more people will say it's really good. And what's crazy about it is, you know, not every trick is for everybody. I love the Atomic Deck. It is genuinely my closer in my stage show. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, no problem. But there's no point in changing people's minds. You know, I've seen reviewers that have given it a negative review. I'm not naming names, but there's reviewers that have given it a negative review. And then there's another reviewer that's given it a positive review. And the reviewer that's given it a negative review has jumped onto the reviewer's YouTube account that's given it a positive review and made a comment going, actually, you're wrong, this isn't right, and this is why it's not right, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just kind of like, okay, what's the point in that? Like, you left a review, you don't like it, that's cool, that's your opinion. Why then run around and try and change other people's opinion? If the person likes it, that's great. Then you see it in reverse as well. It is what it is. It is what it is. It really has been polarizing, and you know, it's kind of interesting. And the problem is, and what I found very interesting about the whole thing is there's a few people that are being quite negative about it, as I say, that are jumping on various different threads. That you know, you see the same people commenting again. There's one Facebook, there's one post, I think, on Magicians Only, where the same person has said the same thing 7 different times. And gets ignored, so they say it again, and they say it again, and they say it again. And it for some reason, it's having that sort of effect where people feel the need to tell everyone how terrible it is, and feel the need to tell everyone how great it is. And it's kind of weird. It's like, if you like the trick, then that's great. I love that you like the trick, because I love the trick. If you don't like the trick, that's fine. If it's not for you, that's not a problem. But I've never seen any other trick where you have people constantly trying to change people's minds. It's like I've seen people post going, I love the Atomic Deck. I've performed it 7 or 8 times this weekend, and it's really great. And somebody will say, are you kidding? It's trash. It's terrible. It's kind of like, but this person's tried it and they're enjoying it and they love performing it. I can't. The one thing that's confused me about this whole thing is people that say it's not workable in the real world. You can't do it in the real world. I have done this trick more times than anybody, and lots of people are commenting saying, I've done this, it gets killer reactions, but you know, to say it doesn't work in the real world, I don't see why people say that, because it just does. Like, not many people work as much as me. And the other thing is, it's kind of like, we've really carried on working behind the scenes to make it not just continue to be great, but continue to implement everybody's, you know, there's lots of different things that people have wanted in the Facebook group, and I've been being very active in there. So if people want advice on how to deal a double card, I will show them that. If somebody wants advice on how to split a double, I'll show them how to do that. People have said, hey, we want a version without the phone, so we release the crib. Hey, we want a version of the crib that's designed so that it's not for colorblind people. Okay, no problem. Now we'll do it for that. We want a version of the crib that will do this. Okay, we'll do that. We want a version of the crib that will do this. Okay, we'll do that. Now we want the Notes app updated to include this. Okay, now sometimes you might see a duplicate. We want a version of the crib and also of the Notes app that doesn't involve any duplicates being dealt. Okay, no problem. Now you've got an alternate stack. We've done that. Okay, now I want this. And we're constantly trying to take people's advice on board. We're just doing a massive update now, which I don't think has been announced yet, but Josh has been updating the Notes app so that as well as telling you if it works or not, it will operate like the crib. So in other words, if you press on the other side of the Notes app, it'll actually tell you what you need to do with that number to bring it within range if it's not within range. So it'll operate just like the crib, which if you've got the Atomic deck, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But some of the people that are really negative about it, they've said, well, obviously it was rushed to market because, they're having to do all of this stuff to fix it so it becomes a half-decent trick. And it's kind of like, no, we're not fixing it. We're just continuing to work with it, which you don't normally see in Magic. Normally with Magic, somebody releases something and then that's it. It's done. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, that's basically how a product is released. It's released and you're done with it and then that's it. But with the Atomic deck, we're constantly working on it. I thought the phone, and I still do, I'm not going to use the crib. The phone, for me, is the perfect way to do the trick. I'm always going to continue to use the phone. Honestly, more often than not, I use the website input. We included the Notes input because that's what people wanted. We included the crib because that's what people wanted. But it doesn't mean that we're fixing the trick. The trick was like where I wanted it to be before it was released. But now, other people want different things with it, so we're updating it to include different things. On the new print run, we're going to be including extra cards in there to do things that people have asked us to include. So, yeah, I don't think we could have done the Magic News without talking about the Atomic deck. Some people are saying it's going to be the worst trick of 2025. There's nothing that can beat it. It will be the worst trick of 2025. Other people are saying it's going to be the best trick of 2025. And I know there's people going to be in the comments that are going to go, this is trash. This is the worst trick in the world. How can you say it's going to be the best trick? I'm not. Other people are. If you think it's the worst trick of the year, then it is. If you think it's the best trick of the year, then it is. But please don't bother commenting negative stuff in the comments. I'm not going to read it. All right. I'm very, very glad that I put the Atomic deck out. I'm less glad that it's had so much controversy around it and that people have got personal with me, but it is what it is. There you go. That's the best stroke worst trick of 2025, depending on which side of the penny you fall on. Okay, so let's talk about some tricks that are coming out that have just been announced. First of all, Nailed has just been released by Penguin Magic by Rich Marotta. Now, this has been produced and is starring. The face of this trick is Magic Ballet, who is one of the greatest performers and pitchmen of all time. And Magic Play has bought a classic bang up to date with a new method. The whole idea is that it starts as a bet. You take a coin and you say, I'm going to balance it on my forehead. And you do just that. You stick it to your forehead. And you say, do you want me to tell you how it works? And then you pull the coin out and there's a nail soldered into the coin. And you can give it them and they can look at it. And it's almost like you've stabbed your head with a nail on a coin, which is a really, really strong trick. And if you go and watch the trailer, you'll see the reactions that this gets. Very, very strong. This has been around a while ago. Penguin have redesigned it, re-updated it, and brought it bang up to date for a modern audience. And they've got Magic Ballet to go out and do the tutorial and the performances. And he has done a great job. It's available now from Penguin Magic, and that is Nailed by Rich Marotta. Now, the next one, Vanishing Ink have re-released. It must be the year for re-releases. Vanishing Ink have re-released Blank Night. They're calling it Blank Night 2025. The very first trick that fooled Penn and Teller. This is possibly the greatest bank night of all time. You use 5 envelopes. You can customize it however you want to, but when John Archer, of course it's a John Archer trick, when John Archer performs it, he has certain words on it that fit his performance style. You can have 4 people freely pick any envelope they want to. When they reach in there's going to be something of no value, like a John Archer $0 bill or whatever it is that he uses, and the last one's going to have all the money in it. It's a fantastic routine, and it was the very first trick that fooled Penn and Teller. And I think that no matter what John Archer does, this is still going to be the best trick he ever created. Well, they've now brought a 2025 version out with different coloured envelopes and a bunch of upgrades. So there you go. Blank Knight 2025 by John Archer and Vanishing Ink is now out. Viking have released some stuff through Murphy's and therefore available for all Magic dealers. You've got a lock picking set. You've got the classic Viking coin tray, which is the best quality coin tray that you can buy. That's now available as well. Ball through hand is another one that they've announced, which is, again, is a fantastic prop. Viking do great work. It's not the cheapest, but you know, I'm thinking about doing a Hows and Wise with the coin tray, because there's so much you can do with the coin tray. A lot of people don't do much with it. So yeah, Viking Magic released a bunch of stuff. You can see that at your favorite Magic dealer. Three more. Ordered Triumph by JT Magic. This seems very interesting. All of these tricks I'm talking about, this is not a review. I haven't got them yet. I'm basing it off the ad copy and the trailer. But Ordered Triumph by JT Magic is a very clean Triumph style effect, where the cards are shuffled face up into face down. At the end, they all sort themselves out so they're facing the right way, but also they're in new deck order as well, which adds an extra wrinkle to the trick. It's a gimmick deck that does all the work for you. Looks great. JT Magic are a bit hit and miss. Some of the best tricks I've seen are by them, but they also release some trash as well, so it'll be great to see where they fall with this one. And Flamenco has now been released by Penguin Magic. Now, Flamenco is one of the most highly anticipated books of all time. It is the third book by Juan Tamariz. So first of all, he brought out Mnemonica, then he brought out Sonata, and now you've got Flamenco. You've got a deluxe and a standard version of this. And it's some of Juan Tamariz's best magic. I mean, if you like Juan Tamariz, and who doesn't like Juan Tamariz, then Flamenco is the book that you've probably been waiting for. I know it's been very highly anticipated, and it's great that it's now available. Now, talking about books, the other book that is now being announced for pre-order, and you can get it from Penguin Magic, is Absolute Madness by myself. Now, Absolute Madness sold out at the Blackpool Magic Convention, so if you pick one up at Blackpool, thank you very much. Absolute Madness is a book all about my magic. Now, me and Eric Tate spent about 2.5 years putting this book together. There are some of the best routines that I do in this book. I am very happy with the routines that are in there. There's an eclectic mix of card material, coin material, mentalism, stage magic. There's even a kid show trick in there. There's something for anybody. There's a whole bunch of essays on creating your own magic, making a trick your own, raising a magical kid. There's an essay on marketing 101. And you know, Ryland's in there giving his thoughts on all of the tricks. Basically, we wanted to make the book Magic TV in book form, and it's genuinely my love letter to the Magic community. If you want to know who the real Craig Petty is, then this is the book that you want to get. It's available from Penguin Magic. It's going to be released soon, and Eric Tate ghost writ the book for me. We went back and forth, and thousands of hours of videos and Zoom calls and God knows what, making it where it needed to be, and that is here. So thank you to Eric Tate. Absolute Madness is now out. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Penguin Magic, it's available right now. And that are all of the tricks that have been released and that are able to buy right now. So there you go, guys. That's another Magic news in the bag. If you have any Magic news for me, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, Absolute Madness is available right now. The Atomic deck is available, but Murphy's have no more stock. So when your dealer runs out, that's it. We are done for a while. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to join the Net Tricks, you can do. It's my online membership site for magicians. It's you can access that immediately. But outside of all of that, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.